Welcome back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to the SAS College Rugby League, brought to you live down here at Westlake Boys. My name's Troy Hardy with ARL TV, ARL Rugby League, and alongside me is Corey Rosser. And Corey's here, and he always has a bit of a giggle as he's going through his laptops, because he brings 5 of them to every show that we go to. And he's just powering up now, like the little Energizer battery that he is, as we wait now for MtAlbert to restart for our game of the round here for SAS College Rugby League. MtAlbert Grammar up against the Westlake Boys, and then so far, Corey, it's all going Mag's way.
It is indeed. It is one-way traffic so far, although some interesting stats to come at half-time. Find out that actually Westlake are completing better, just haven't had nearly enough possession. So can they turn it around in the second half?
Match minute blows time on.
Back
We're
underway we go. So Westlake with it all to do. Bouncing ball, which is fielded.
Not a bad crowd down here today for both MtAlbert and the Westlake Boys supporters.
Westlake now working it out from their end, and they made a number of errors out of yardage in that first half, which is an area they've got to address immediately, you would say, Troy.
Absolutely. And big shout out to the Gimmels. Big Chock Gimmel, his son Little Chock, is the coach today for Westlake Boys. So good to catch up with Little Chock earlier. And that kick has bounced out and over the line. Just having a quick look what the referee's going to call on that. Scrum.
Yeah, it's hard to obviously rule what is a 40-20 as well with these field markings. We had that last week. Very tricky to get a read on it.
We had Viggo Rasmussen was the referee on that one, and we worked out that Mr. Rasmussen was having an intense conversation about where the 22 yards was after a 20-40.
It's a scrum to pack down. It will be a Mags ball, but that's a better start for Westlake. They'll be happy with that. Got down the right end of the field, finished on a good kick.
Westlake really need to contain him down here. That's not a bad tackle around the ankles. Too much yardage out of the dummy. He's gone.
Still on the charge now is the number 4, Graham Tolfa, looking for support, eventually taking the ground, but they're only 5 metres out from the line. Quick play of the ball here. Westlake are in big trouble on the edges. They're going to go the short side. Maybe the blind was the option there.
Looked like to bring it back. There's just wave after wave.
Wolf wrestled to ground, 5 out from the line now. They centralise and bring Gillett in. Just lost a bit of their momentum, which started this set. Now they come out to the left edge now. Kelly turns his back row around on the middle. Good carry forward by Kamu. Tuitama plays short at the line, and there's just no one there. And Westlake are in again. This time, there's Julius Patello, who goes over for the easiest of tries.
I think
Get a look at it here.
Did they do that all inside the set?
And you can see it's a quick play of the ball from Kamu when he eventually gets to it.
Strong lad too, and he attracted a couple of defenders there. Just a short little pop, and the rest was, they see, history.
Just not numbering up Westlake, and that will make for ugly viewing.
Yeah, sad to say, I think Mags are polished up and starting to burn rubber.
Kamu to attempt the conversion from in front of the posts. And we've got one of the worst flag movements I've ever seen. I think it's gone over, but the touchy hasn't done us any favours there with that signal. So 32 Mags, Westlake 0. 3 minutes into the second half here at Westlake Boys High School.
We had a couple of special guests here today, Corey. Big shout out to Simon Watson, up from the Glenfield Rugby League. And I know he's off to pick up a couple of lads to go to rugby league training tonight.
What a night for it.
Oh, you got to love it, love it, live it, loving it. So Westlake back in the Groundhog Day.
Long kick down, fielded by Mags, and here we go off the back fence. Look out. Straight and true from MtAlbert. That time it's Ioriko, and now they play short at the line. Tuitama now says, come here. Bumps off a couple, but good. 3-man, eventually 4-man tackle from Westlake. They get him to ground. Little juggle from Patillo, the try scorer from a few minutes earlier. Now they jump out, they head down.
Massive hole next to the referee. No one's jamming in next to him. If somebody runs at the ref, I know he ain't going to tackle him.
Patillo. Centralized now. Kelly looks to the sky. It's a little skewed off the boot, but it's going to be allowed to bounce, and they're in trouble here. Westlake, eventually it's collected. Disaster avoided.
Oh, disaster avoided, and the kiss of Corey comes again. So that's just heartbreaking as a coach. You get the ball back, we play the ball. Was it 0-1 and just bobble?
He looked up, had to think about a little run to help his forwards out, and instead left the ball behind.
Don't forget too, ladies and gentlemen, 8th of July, it's a Sunday. Mark it in your calendar. Women in Rugby League.
Yeah, how good's that going to be? Some big clashes in the Farrelly Photos Women's Premiership, as well as the age grade competitions, the new comps that have been introduced by the Auckland Rugby League, ensuring that our ladies are now able to play the game from mini mods right through to seniors. Graham Tolfa now hands it off. Graham Tolfa to his brother, who's going to have gone very close here. Flags up, and out is the call. So brother to brother. And they very nearly make it 36.
Mags player tapped the, patted the linesman on the chest, said thanks very much.
Probably your shots on screen don't quite do justice to how dark it actually is down here at Westlake. Boys, just looking out from the commentary box, it's actually quite hard to even get a look on the game. So you're in the best seat in the house if you're watching at home today.
Absolutely. This is probably coming from our new camera person, Grant Collingwood.
So Westlake get us back underway now. 10 metres out from the line. How good has the line speed been from Mags Troy? When they've been asked to do defence, they have been enthusiastic, very quick to shut down this Westlake team who are small at the best of times.
Yeah, talking to one of the coaching staff, they rated themselves on the defence. They reckoned it was, he dropped it again. So I nearly said sorry for him. Mags, you know, they rated their defence. They reckon they really scrambled well, one of their key strengths. And today, I think we're witnessing it.
We're seeing it indeed.
Yeah, it's turning into be a hard day at the office for the Westlake boys.
So Mags get things going once again.
On the deep, climbing all over him. They've got 2 on there. They really do need to try and slow the MtAlbert attack down.
Tuitama just about puts the ball down that time. Elias.
He's got 3 hanging off him.
Down the right side they come, now they hold it up. Graham Tolfa shuffles play on to the try scorer from the first half, Tolfu. And this time it is put down.
What's the call there?
Drop ball is the call. So plenty of drop balls starting to come into this one now. Another dropped ball, and that is 3 in a row for Westlake. Shooting themselves in the foot well and truly.
Okay, we're going to throw to TJ just to get a quick update on the stats side of things, mate. Errors, give us a hit.
Yeah, we've actually had 8 sets of 6 in the second half, and we've only completed 3 altogether from both teams. So MtAlbert started strong on the first half, but if they want to put on a few more points, they definitely need to start holding on to the ball. They're playing at the right end of the field, which is good, but again, just not completing their sets.
So Kelly to pack down the scrum, and Errors the name of the game in the second half. Up they come, they're going to go short side straight away. Graham Tolfa holding it up, still going. He's got half the Westlake team hanging off him. It's not going to be enough.
No, he's over, mate.
Moala, Graham Tolfa has scored. The MtAlbert Lions fullback chimed in there and just kept running. Let's take a look now on the replay. You can see here, puts on a little bit of footwork at first, puts on a second lot of footwork. And look at this, he's gone dead set through 4 or 5 guys, and even at this point, he's got everyone hanging off him, but he just powers his way over. That is brilliant, brilliant work from Moala, Graham Tolfa.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, all of the action replays will be on the ARL TV YouTube channel. So all of the games are hosted on there, not just the SAS College Rugby League matches, but also all of the Fox and everything that we've pretty well live streamed this year. Corey?
Off the boot.
We got one flag up, one flag down, one flag not sure.
Well, I'm pretty certain that didn't go over, but we've got 2 flags up, so we shall add it to the scoreboard. And as I mentioned, our touchy not overly convincing with some of the flag movements, but anyway.
Beer Sports support. Referee back, set, ready for the restart.
I was talking about MtAlbert's defence earlier, Troy. Certainly they do have one of the best defensive records in the competition, particularly in that group around them. They've only conceded 60 points all year. That is compared to 114 for the team below them, 128 for the team below them there. So they've easily got the best defensive record of that, I guess, outside of the top 4 kind of group. And their record even stands up with those inside the top 4. They've got a better defensive record than Wesley College, who currently occupy 4th position. So,
and I think too, just on the draw, you know, they've probably got a few of the teams at the other end of the scale that they're going to be playing between now and the end of the term. And, you know, they keep tracking along at the performance level they're at. They'll probably get a few more wins on the board as well.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately for them, the heartbreaking one, I think, was a loss to MtAlbert High School from memory. So that was really a must-win for them. Right. That was a game that, that they would have had to have won. And while they're still certainly in the race for that top 4, it's put them under some real pressure. Ball scooped up, but we've got a penalty at the end of it. The penalty will go to Westlake.
So let's hope Westlake can mount some pressure from here.
They need to finish on a high.
Oh, that kickers it out.
It is. It was a pretty dodgy one, but it does make it out on the school side of the field here at Westlake Boys High School. Credit to the groundsmen. The field's actually held up remarkably well, considering. You can see a bit of surface water on the sidelines, but the field is pretty good. Still
showing
fighting on the tackle. This is good stuff. This is a bit more like it for Westlake. Sam Wilson with the good carry forward. My apologies, it was in fact Philo. Dag. Darts out of dummy half now, Dag. He's on a little run here. This is a good run from young Jaden Dag out of the bottom of the ruck. They head out towards this left edge now. Sione Vai.
MtAlbert will need to demonstrate that they're worthy. They won't want to leak an easy try. They'll want Westlake to work hard for it.
Last tackle coming up. What have Westlake got to work with? Their last tackle plays have been ordinary so far. They get to the kick. It's a good one across field, but it's way too deep, and it's picked up by Levasa, who now will run it out. Now they need to be careful, Westlake, because they've got boys still retreating back. Levasa taps and goes, runs it straight at the referee, puts on the little footwork. He's still going, makes it out to halfway. Brilliant stuff from the MtAlbert Grammar winger. And now very slow on the play of the ball. That's got to be a sin binning, hasn't it? They've got away with one there, Westlake, because I tell you what, that was a cynical foul. And they will keep their full complement on the field. They're lucky to do so.
Cynical foul. Although there was a professional foul, well done. He managed to buy his team a bit of time. And Mount Albert now on the march. Here come Max.
What side of the field you're looking at it from, man. They haven't found touch.
Kick.
So it's reeled in. It's picked up by Tuaana, who now straightens. Taking the ground, 25 out from the line. So a lot of errors in this second half after a surprisingly clean first half, given the conditions. Dag to Toya, who can hold his head high today. He's worked hard, has David Toya. Fighting in that play. The ball still, ball spills loose. Is that okay? Dag picks it up.
Okay.
Little step from Dag, who's eventually taken the ground just short of halfway. Toya, the dummy half. Brings play back to the middle. It's a high one. Not much of a chase from Westlake. And that one will drift out safely over the sideline.
Just as I was watching the ball head towards the sideline there, I was looking at the little halves and the hooker and reminding me sort of moulds of Alan Langer, that sort of size. And it's not the only ones that we've had. You know, Zay Wallace was of the same sort of stature, and, you know, they've proved themselves, you know, a handful inside the College Rugby League, no matter how big or small you are.
Yep, and you have to take your hat off to those boys, because this is a tough game when you're a big guy, but it's a very, very tough game when you're giving away as many kilos and I guess height as well as some of these boys are. So hats off to them, and certainly there's some brilliant smaller players in this Westlake team. You mentioned Zay Wallace, probably the best player to come out of this Westlake team in a number of years. Went on to play Fox for the Mount Albert Lions before heading over to the Gold Coast Titans, where he played under 20s.
Yeah, great little footballer. Spent a bit of time at the Mount Albert Lions, and we enjoyed watching his progression through the grade.
Absolutely. One of many fine graduates to come out of this competition in recent years. The most recent one, Joseph Vuna, who debuted for the Vodafone Warriors against the Melbourne Storm on Anzac Day. He's got a big future ahead of him, does Joe, out of Otahuhu College.
Yeah.
And of course, Ken Momalo as well, who just earned a call-up to the Kiwis team for the Denver Test. He played for Southern Cross Campus before signing up to the Warriors. As we see, a great little run there from Lokeni Tama, another of the Richmond boys on this team. They jump out of dummy half now via Longi. The interchange front row now. Kelly puts a little kick in behind it to no one, and it's scooped up by Westlake. 8 minutes to go here at Westlake Boys High School, and it is all Mount Albert grammar.
We've got a few boys in off the bench now, Mags, looking for a wee bit of rotation. And boy, it is extremely dark out here, ladies and gentlemen. Can't really see it on the TV screen, but yeah, she's cold and uninviting.
Dag. Toya now. Toya looking for an offload, gets it out to Dag. Dag with another offload to the second phase, starting to come in, and now they head out to this left edge. Bouncing ball along the ground. Penalty Westlake.
Yeah, Westlake tend to have been pretty lateral today, not a lot of directness, and given the weather and the state of the ground, probably just didn't have enough big to hit the line and be meaningful and trying to bend it.
Dag's been good out of dummy half, Troy, and he was good last week against Otahuhu as well. Energetic, very brave in defence. He's a North Harbour touch player. Wants to be a sports trainer after leaving school. He's only in his 6th form year, so they'll get another year out of him. He's one of the co-captains today along with David Toya. And you can see why. Arguably the co-captains have been their best players on field today. Maxwell. A shuffle play on now, out to this left edge. Now here's a good carry forward by Tomaniko. 10 out from the line. Toya straightens. Not tackled the first time. Still on the charge now, David Toya. Just short of the line, Dag. And ball is put down. Another knock on. So another error, but they're going to get let off the hook. Dag to tap and go. Restarts play. Dag just short of the line. Carrying the ball forward. You'd say their most likely way right now looks through one of the bookends. Or this man, Dag, who jumps out of dummy half, and there it is. Westlake are on the board. And it's Jaden Dag who jumps over. Let's take a look on the SAS replay. Was busy in that set. Tried to go under them, but just not able to win that physical contest today, Westlake. And in the end, this is a clever little jump out of dummy half. He just senses that Tuitama's still finding his way back. And then from there, crashes his way over. So a bright spark for Westlake on an otherwise fairly miserable day for the hosts. Kick is good.
And don't go away at the break, ladies and gentlemen. Corey's going to have a quick interview with the two captains. And whilst we get down and try to nail the captains, we'll get a stat summary from TJ, who's run the figures today. And we'll see how we go.
It's about 5 minutes to go in this one. And it has been a tough old day to play rugby league. Wet and windy.
We might have to put a little minus helmet on you, Corey, so turn the light on when you leave the stand.
Either that or attach me to a rope so I can find my way home again as Mags prepare to get us back underway.
So great effort by Westlake. You know, get some points on the board. It's certainly been Mag's day to day, and it's all been going their way.
So Kelly down to the corner. They field it. And Westlake, well, if they can find some positives in this final 5 minutes, or 4 minutes it is now, it gives them something to work on next week. And a reminder while we're at it, do join us again next week. Live streaming again Wednesday from 4 p.m. Keep an eye on aucklandleague.co.nz for the link and announcement on that one. Do give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Westlake now 40 out from the line. They get to their kick. Splits winger and fullback, eventually scooped up. And now they're on the counter attack straight away. Westlake keen to get things going. Get the offload out the back, and it's Graham Tolfa eventually taking the ground. 45 out from their own line. Itu La'awi. Kelly now turns back inside where he finds Vincent Liku. They got more points on their mind here, MtAlbert Grammar. Stanley Longi to Kamu, who's already got a try.
Got a great
out the back
offload.
now. Longi, a delayed offload. Longi as well was looking for the offload, and boy, he had big Tuitama looming on the outside there. Would have been game over if we got the ball away. Now Kelly looks to the heavens. Up they go. What have they got? Knocked on by Westlake. So back-to-back sets coming up now for MtAlbert Grammar. Emmanuel Kelly, one of the stars today, has really controlled this game beautifully. Good kicking game. Has taken the ball to the line nicely. And more importantly, combined brilliantly with his forwards, Troy. And you pointed out earlier, that is where the advantage was gained in this game. Mags have had it all over them in the pack.
Second rows have done a grand job as well.
Yep.
You know, they've tacked both edges, been strong, shown good upper body strength, you know, offloading ball and great speed.
Speaking of those second rowers, Kamu with another good carry forward. Longi now at the bottom of the play of the ball. Now they play short to Tuitama, who is dropped. Good defence, Westlake. Longi now jumps out of dummy half. Stanley Longi. The Maris Saints dummy half. He's over. Stanley Longi crashes over right underneath the SAS uprights on what might just about be the final play of the game. Let's take a look now on the replay. It starts with a couple of telling carries forward, none more so than this one, which was a brilliant carry. But look at the defense, Troy. They cut him down right in front.
Laid his body on the line for that one, repelled it. And then they pulled the trigger on the second one. There was nothing left in the tank and basically went through virtually untouched.
Yeah, all in the eyes, that one, Longy. He was looking out the back, looking at his options. The only one he didn't look at was straight ahead, which is where he went. So brilliant stuff there. And with that, Mags go up over 40.
You can hear the Westlake supporters crew upstairs there, shouting out encouragement for the Mags kicker.
Kick is good. Siren goes in the background, and that will do us for the latest round of the SAS College Rugby League competition. It is MtAlbert Grammar 44, Westlake Boys High School 6. Do stay with us, captains, to come before we wind up our coverage here from Westlake Boys High School.
Okay, as Corey gets ready now to get down there and get in front of the captains and get a wee bit of insight between the two sides, we're going to have a quick update with TJ in regards to a wrap-up on our stats. And I'll just turn that phone off in the background. TJ, I told you don't bring the phones to the live streaming games. So, mate, if we can get a quick wrap, how's it look?
Yeah, no, I thought obviously the score tells the story there. MtAlbert actually had up to about 62% of the ball for the game. So with that 62%, they managed to complete about 72% as well in possession. So look, they played well. The amount of ball that Westlake Boys had was a little bit hard to obviously put points on for them. But look, to be honest, they did great. They played majority of the game inside their own half, but they only managed to complete about 61% of their completions.
So we've talked about completions and what have you and carries. Can we touch on errors, mate? How'd that look at the end of the day?
Yeah, no, it was started off quite strong for both teams in the first half, but you saw there that first 15 odd minutes in the second half got a little bit messy. Once they started completing sets, we saw obviously a try there from Westlake, but a few more tries there from Mags. But all in all, wasn't too bad. Penalty rate though was that's probably the story of both games, to be honest. But I think it was around about 10 penalties each, so they struggled in that area.